Hey guys, thanks for coming to today's webinar. I'm really excited that you're here, and I'm really excited to share this information with you. We've done this webinar in the past and had a good showing, a good turnout. A bunch of shop owners were able to attend the last webinar we did, and we just thought we'd share this information with you because it's very valuable and received lots of good feedback from other shops when we did this. So here we go. We're going to get started, and I hope you just enjoy this. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. I believe it's on the right-hand corner of your screen, and we'll try to answer those within 48 hours and get back to you on those questions. So my name is Justin Raymond. I'm on the marketing team here at Repair Shop Websites. And today I'm going to be talking to you about how your independent shop can successfully compete with the dealerships nearby. First, some bad news. Dealership service centers are getting busier. According to the major auto industry report, Lang Marketing, dealer service sales are growing twice as fast as independent shops. After losing tremendous market share during the mass dealership closures of the 2008 recession, the remaining dealers have added bays and are aggressively pursuing customers. And while dealerships really used to focus on servicing the in-warranty vehicles, the car manufacturers are heavily encouraging dealers to add more quick service bays for vehicles. They've got one major incentive to get customers visiting that independent shops don't. Every time a customer stops by a dealership to get their oil change, they get to look at all the new shiny cars in the lot. And if the dealership is really lucky, they might even buy one. Finally, since a large number of new car dealerships are selling pre-owned vehicles than before the recession, dealerships also want to get owners of older vehicles back on the lot. Even if it's not the type of customer that wants to buy a brand new vehicle every 3 to 5 years. The dealers are still incentivized to get them back on site to see if there's a newer used vehicle that suits them. When you add this to the consolidation in the industry, it's not great news for independent repair shops. But independents still have plenty of ammunition to fight this renewed push. There will always be a place for independents. In fact, if you think about it, many independent repair shop customers left their dealership for a reason. The easiest thing to do is to go to a dealership, especially if the car was purchased from a dealership, new or used. In fact, many people visiting your shop have probably already been to a dealership for service. Maybe it was a warranty covered repair. Maybe it was for free oil changes for the first year. Maybe it was a recall. They've already experienced the dealer's service. Generally, if people don't have a good reason to change their behavior, they just keep doing that same thing over and over. And that's true whether you're talking about cable TV, car service, or their barbershop. So if they're coming to your shop, there's a good chance it's because they weren't satisfied with the dealer. So what's wrong with the service at dealerships? There are plenty of things you can say about service at dealerships. You can say it's expensive, and you'll probably be right. But who wants to only compete on price? You have to keep prices competitive, but it shouldn't really be anyone's goal to undercut everyone in town. If you're losing 10 bucks every time a customer comes in the door, 1,000 more customers is not going to help a thing. Fortunately, you can also say a couple of other things about dealerships. You can say they're impersonal. These big, sprawling brands aren't really focused on customers forming a personal relationship with their service writer or technician. In fact, they have heavy technician turnover. That's the last thing they want. They're much more focused on the customer forming a relationship with the brand, like download our app, view our over 500 locations nationwide. They don't keep customers based on the best service. They keep customers because they provide the same service at all of their locations. That's professionalism without personality. You can also say they're aggressive. A lot of these dealerships are major corporations, and many of them are publicly traded. AutoNation has 26,000 employees and 300 locations. Group 1 has over 120 dealerships in the US and plenty more in Brazil and Britain. Publicly traded companies like these aren't focused on long-term results or relationships. They're focused on quarterly earnings per share. If there's a way to get another dollar out of a customer, they want to do it. And they want to do it immediately. Customers can sense that, and they feel as if they're under attack. And if customers are approached by 3 car people selling cars as soon as they drop off their vehicle for service, it gets even worse. If they don't like feeling they're a fresh steak in a lion's den every time they get an oil change, they might end up at an independent repair shop pretty quickly. So let's talk about the ways independent repair shops can remind customers why they left the dealership in the first place. One area that independent repair shops perform really well is reminding a customer what personal service looks like. By treating them like a human being instead of a service order. Independent shops are inherently more personal than dealerships. The owner has poured their heart and soul into the shop. If you own an independent shop, there's a good chance that you were the first mechanic. Many employees at independent repair shops stay at the same shops for many years or decades, and work relationships start to feel like family relationships. But just because work relationships are more personal at independent repair shops, that doesn't mean that your customer will always feel that way if you aren't focused on it. Make sure you demonstrate your concern for your customers, not just their vehicles. If they're stuck in a bad spot because of their vehicle, acknowledge that. Remember that your job is to ultimately make the customer happy. Fixing vehicles is a critical part of that result for any repair shop. But a great repair without good service is generally not sufficient to please a customer. Here are a few ways to provide great personal service to customers. Be reachable. Everyone has had a terrible experience calling a customer support line and being asked to answer 10 questions by pushing numbers on the phone. I know I've had. When customers call your shop, a pre-recorded message is a nice way of saying, this is going to take forever. Ideally, when someone calls your shop, the phone will ring and someone will pick it up. If you do need a recorded message, keep it short and ask no more than one question. Be available. Customers want a hassle-free experience that fits into their schedule. If it's a drop-off service, make sure to minimize the amount of time they wait before they are talking to someone who's working to get their questions answered and get them out the door. If it's a longer repair that needs to be scheduled, give them several options and make sure you're giving them times when they can be a priority as soon as they show up. Show sympathy. It's nothing personal, but unless they're dropping their car off for a detail, they're probably not happy to be in your shop. Best case scenario, they've shown up for routine maintenance like an oil change or new tires, and they're spending time and money they'd prefer to use elsewhere. If it was an unplanned repair, their entire day probably just got wrecked by their vehicle. When you're dealing with customers like this, ask yourself, what would be the best thing that could happen to you if you were in their shoes? And try to offer that. Maybe they need a referral for a rental car that they can be picked up, or you have a loaner car that you could offer them for the day. Maybe they'd appreciate it if you could offer them some certainty as to what the problem is or how long they'll be without a vehicle. Even acknowledging how frustrating it is for this to happen to them can make them feel better. It's uncommon to get great service like this these days. Those conversations stick out in a customer's mind, and they can easily lead to great referrals and long-term customer relationships. Be genuine. Good shops have policies in place to ensure everything happens as it should. But that doesn't mean your customers need to experience the script that your service writer is following firsthand. When you're exchanging information with a customer dropping their vehicle off for service, don't make it sound like they're taking a telephone survey. Have a genuine conversation with them. Treat them like a human being, not the 15th repair order of the day. This alone will separate your shop from the corporate shops up the road. The other way I mentioned earlier that dealerships scare off customers is by being too aggressive. Think about it this way. If you're constantly taking money from the future and using it right now, that's called going into debt. If you do it enough, you'll go too far into the red and eventually go bankrupt. These repair shops that try to convince customers that something's ready for replacement as soon as it gets the smallest amount of wear and tear, what they're taking from the future is customer goodwill. And if you go too far into the red on customer goodwill, what you'll end up with is a terrible reputation. But some of these shops and some of the technicians really just don't care. That's because the shop is focused on quarterly earnings, and the technician has no plans to be at the shop 3 years from now. That's how repair shops get such a terrible reputation. Customers get conditioned to saying no to repairs because they've had experiences where if they say yes, they just keep getting presented with more stuff until they finally say no. One way to deal with this is when you're telling a customer about any unexpected repairs that need to be made, make sure to mention things that are in good shape and other things that they may need to work on later, but you wouldn't recommend them doing it just yet. This indicates that you're not trying to find every possible thing wrong with the car and get it fixed today. It also makes them feel less like their car is bad luck, which can cause frustration, and they might take it out on the nearest person, and that could be you. If you're providing customer-focused service, you're naturally going to be less aggressive in overselling them every possible service under the sun. But here are a few other ways to build trust with customers who've had bad experiences with shady mechanics in the past. Unless the problem is a flat rate maintenance issue like brake pads or oil changes, state your hourly labor costs up front when discussing a repair. The more numbers that can move around an invoice, the less control a customer feels like they have. If the repair rates are set, it's only a question of how much time the repair will take and how much the new parts cost. Another big thing for unexpected repairs, make it clear you know it's a surprise and you want to be as transparent as possible. Offer to show them the issue on their vehicle. If there's another vehicle in the shop where you can show them what it should look like, show them that too. If it's a serious issue, indicate that, but take extra effort not to come off as pushy, especially on their first visit to your shop. Meet your price and time estimates. A shop being able to meet their price and time estimates is not just a sign they are honest and customer focused. It also means that a shop can accurately diagnose a problem, how long a car will be in line, and how long it will take to fix. If you run into unexpected delays, customers might wonder why you weren't expecting them. There's one other area I wanted to mention that can help shops, and that's community involvement. Now, dealerships do sometimes have pretty strong community involvement. Some locally owned dealerships do contribute communities in significant ways. But if you're independent, it definitely helps to walk the walk here too. Many people like to do business with locally owned businesses in the hope that a larger portion of the money stays inside the community. If customers can see that your shop is really helping to do great things, they're more likely to feel good about the decision they made to support you. Many shops sponsor Little League teams or local church activities, or donating to a local nonprofit. And while donating money is a noble cause, you can also be more creative in how you help the community. Here's a couple examples of shops who contribute to their community in interesting ways. One shop offers a new driver class, teaching community members how to maintain their vehicle, including tire changes, checking oil, what to do if a belt breaks, and other issues. This class is mostly for younger drivers and can give some peace of mind to parents who are worried about their kids being alone on the road for the first time. Another shop supports a 13-year-old local bull rider who won the World Final Junior title in December of 2015. He's won plenty of other titles too, including the National Reserve Champion 4 times. And a thank you card from Travis is posted on their website. If your business isn't pursuing community involvement already, you probably won't have to look too far to find deserving cause right in your own community. Most likely, it will pay for itself, and many times over in the attention it brings, and in the customer goodwill it will generate. So to wrap up today, dealerships are increasing their market share at the expense of independent repair shops, but they still have some major vulnerabilities. To best compete with them, make sure you get your notes ready. Independent shops should always provide personal service that focuses on building trust instead of maximizing the repair order at the cost of the future trust. Finally, shops should invest in their community. They should invest in their community. And they shouldn't be bashful about demonstrating that commitment in their shops through posters, thank you letters, or newspaper articles. All of this will serve as a reminder to customers that they're receiving a different level of service at your shop than they would at a dealership. I hope this has been helpful for you as you look for new ways to grow your repair shop. If you have any questions about anything that we've covered, you can contact us using the contact information provided on your screen. We offer one of these webinars each month, so stay tuned for another Repair Shop Websites webinar next month, and I hope you have a great day. And remember, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. We will reach back out to you if you don't want to contact us by phone or email hopefully within 48 hours, and help you to continue to grow your shop and just help you succeed. Have a great day.